gotta say, I'm fanboying on some of the people on the next panel. I'm a big fanboy. A lot of the people that you're gonna get to meet right now. So we're gonna be talking a little bit about how AI is revolutionizing financial services, banking, insurance, etc. And we have Orly from Menora, Yoni Assia, CEO of eToro, and Shai Wininger from Lemonade. The moderator of the panel is the one and only Pelled, the organizer of the event. So stick around for some unbelievable insights from real industry leaders. Thank you guys, come on.
All right, happy to have you all here. I actually used to work for eToro in the US, so I'm familiar with this industry, with this topic, with the amazing thing that they're doing, and Lemonade and Menora, and I was about to say there's another company starts with an M. So Orly is the head of innovation, and Yoni is the CEO at eToro, and Shai Wininger, Chief Lemonade Officer. Can you all introduce yourself? You have a minute. Just explain what a Chief Lemonade Officer is.
Sure. So
Maker.
I've been in the industry for many years. Started a few companies. Last company before Lemonade was Fiverr, and now Lemonade, where I run most of the product, technology, and operations.
Hi, I'm Yoni Assia. I'm the CEO and founder of eToro. And I actually got here through family connection because Ben's my cousin.
We have that too.
I'm Orly from Menora. I'm the CDO, Head of Digital and Innovation.
And you were one of the first people at Pepper. You
right.
built the mobile app.
Before that,
Pepper, right?
I was in the banking industry for many years, including building Pepper, the first digital bank of Israel, and managing the digital unit of Leumi before.
Great. Okay. So a few interesting topics here: customer experience, customer data, workforce, and robo-advising, all related to your companies and to this industry. Let's start with customer experience, right? Because you are here revolutionizing customer experience. I guess at Menora you do the same thing. So the question is, how do you see AI deliver a more seamless customer experience in financial services, or how are you already doing it in your companies today?
Yeah, so you want to take it? Or no? So I don't know about the rest of the insurance industry. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about that. But what we're trying to do is to actually create an instant type of experience where in the old world you'll have to go to speak to agents, to call someone, to meet with someone, to have someone come to your house and do a bunch of things. That would be a huge time waster. And we're all about creating something that is direct to consumer, instant, at your fingertips, creating an experience that is from start to finish. If we talk about insurance, it's the onboarding, it's the paying, it's the administrating your policy, but also paying claims and handling claims. And the entire user experience is handled by bot and conversational UI and driven by AI.
Amazing.
Well, at eToro we're attacking two very interesting challenges. One is how to actually make money in the markets. So whether it's copying traders on eToro or picking stocks on eToro, we found out that the vast amounts of data actually forces us to use AI to actually define who are the top traders to copy on eToro, and what stocks or what ETFs are relevant for a specific person. And what we're doing is we're using AI either to automatically choose the top traders or how to basically personalize the user interface for a user, so when he looks at the user interface and the user experience, he gets to see things that are relevant for him and sort of based on recommendation engines of eToro.
I will add to what Shai said. The insurance industry is very complex. It has many products, different types of customers, long processes with many steps, and a lot of manual work. So the customer experience is not great. And I think that AI can work help in at least two ways. One is to shorten and to make the processes and to make them much more efficient. And the other one is people don't understand and don't want to understand insurance. So you can create, using AI, a conversational AI, a UI, and to create a better experience without understanding the terms of insurance.
And that's what Lemonade is doing, I guess, right? Yeah. Are you kind of like the opposites, Menora, Miftachim, and Lemonade, right?
Yes, I'm more traditional company with all the background that needs to be changed.
And you're there trying to change it.
It's easier to start from scratch as a digital native company.
Cool.
Yep.
And okay, another interesting question is customer data. So we spoke earlier about whether it's the algorithms or the data, and everybody agreed that the data is more valuable. So what kind of data is most valuable to your companies? How do you encourage customer to share it, right? And the next part of the question is GDPR. GDPR, everybody knows it's the new regulation.
Why do you have to spoil the conversation?
Exactly. Let's talk about the good stuff.
Optimist until
we're
now.
Looking for AI to deal with GDPR.
Exactly.
Let's leave that crap aside.
But really, how do you, as a CEO, you'd like your company to gather the most data and to use it? How do you encourage your customers to share it with you?
It's a good question. So I can talk about what we're doing at Lemonade, but there's a bunch of different ways you can attack that point. So for a data-driven company, there's a bunch of various data sources that you can use. So you can use the personal data coming from the customer. You can ask them questions. If you're nice enough, if you understand the conversation workflow and build something that is fun to use and kind of playful, then you can get a lot of information from a customer without even having them, go through all kinds of hoops and things to sign up forms and mark checkbox for privacy and so on and so forth. The second is, of course, is a financial organization, but that's kind of limited to what we guys are doing. You get access to a lot of data that's not available for the typical startup company. So we can access things like your financial history, claim records if you're in insurance, your financial stability, default rates, things like that, criminal history. So all these things come in, and we ingest those and kind of compile those together. And the third part is the public data that's out there, that's available. I think that's one of the biggest opportunities today. There's so much data out there that's available for everyone to just grab. New York is a great example for that. They have been working for the past, I think, 10 years to digitize most of the, I would say, municipal things around the city. New York City, I'm talking about. So you can get information about, when a house was built, what type of roof it has, and even up to when was the last renovation done on that building. When you compile those sources together, you can get an amazing kind of image, understanding of a customer, where traditional insurance companies or banks would never get, because they don't have access to that direct information from the customer and so on.
I think that we have a problem with the regulation, and another thing is the fact that we are using and working with agents. So we are not just a direct company. And that's why we don't have all the data that we need or could use for customer greater value.
Yeah. And eToro, we're a social network where people share their investments. So by default, they're basically saying we're willing for all of our data to be open and shared, which then creates another issue, which is we have 500,000 trades a day happening in eToro. They're all public. Now, how do you find what to do with that vast amount of data?
You have too much data.
We basically have too much data, whether it's the market's data, the user's data, about what they're doing and what they're trading, or the user's sort of personal data, which is who the user is, what he's looking for. And I think that's a lot like AI stands for. Basically, we have so much data, we have no idea anymore what questions to ask. Let's put it in a big machine, tell her what we want, and let her decide. I call her her.
It will tell you what you want, actually, right? It will tell you what you want eventually. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So now let's talk about us, humans. So the next question is about workforce. So there's a statement, humans will be replaced by bots, by robots. From 1 to 10, how true is this statement in your opinion? Should we humans be afraid? What jobs are we going to keep? And what jobs are robots going to take? What jobs will be a combination? And what new jobs will be created? And perhaps you're creating such jobs in your company where it's a combination of...
Is that a single question, or you just shoved like
parts.
a million questions in
1 to 10, how true is the statement humans will be replaced by bots?
So it depends. If we're talking about the workplace, I think we're going to see some jobs replaced by robots. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to happen in the very near future, that we're going to see large segments in the workforce replaced. I think we're going to see a lot of repetitive task changed and taken by robots, but I think the first stage is going to be creating a hybrid model where people will use bots and use AI to become better at what they do, to become more creative at what they do, to reduce the amount of tasks that they're doing that that the machine can do for them, but basically clearing a lot of time either for your family and friends or to become much more creative at things that machines can't yet do. As to whether people should be afraid of AI, I think people should be concerned. I don't think it has to do with fear, not yet. It might get there. But concern, I think we should have, and it goes, I think that the direction that we need to be concerned about is discrimination. It's not the robots kind of storming the streets and taking our homes. It's more in the place where you go to a HR company and they screen you in comparison to other people, and they use AI to pick and choose who's going to go where, and then a company is going to do the same thing to pick and choose who's going to be more probable to get to agree to which kind of benefit plan and so on. That's going to be a problem for us. As to who's going to survive, I think plumbers are going to survive for a long time. I think mental therapists. I think people who work with other people, where you need to have that human connection, that would be your safest bet for a job for the next 20 years.
Very important for plumber.
Yeah, plumber is an example of kind of a task that is very complex to understand. It's always different, and nobody wants to do it, right? So that's going to survive for a long time.
And people working in machine learning and AI jobs, right? Like lots of the people here are going to be here, are going to stay with their jobs.
It's a good question. Obviously, that's going to be something that's going to stay for a while. I do see that there's, everybody that's who's reading all the announcements from Amazon and Google and so on. They see how commoditized this field is becoming, and how algorithms that used to be kind of the type of work that you get from a data scientist, a PhD type of guy, are now available.
You mean they're going to outsource it to India, and we're going to be left out of jobs? Wow.
So I think the easy way to look at it is everything that has a very clear input and output will eventually be replaced by machines and AI.
Example?
And anything that requires ideation and creation and thinking and building new things basically will still require, for at least the next 20, 30 years.
We're still much more creative than machines.
We're still more creative at solving things that there hasn't been a solution before, and it's not clear what's the input and what's the output. I think what's really interesting, though, if you think about it from a business perspective, that in general, managing a business on the very high level of how Wall Street looks at it
input-output
is very clear input-output, and it'll be very interesting to see when AI gets into that or into the layer on top of that, which is trading. And that's a very scary thing, because if AI starts to control the money flows in the world, and the combination of blockchain and AI are taking us towards that direction where AI-owned enterprises can actually make decisions to move the markets, then we're working for the machines. And that's a very interesting, and that's a scary notion.
I want to add that we will see new positions, new jobs in the near future, I believe. So in order to maintain and to develop more technology and the AI and machine learning, we will see more new jobs. So the one that will lose their jobs will find another one, I believe.
Cool. All right. So last question is your summary, and then I want to ask another question, which is maybe unrelated to AI. You guys built amazing companies, and you work at a very big company. Maybe you can share a few tips with the audience, how to be a better entrepreneur, a better CEO. You guys turn over, what, tens of millions of dollars a year. You have hundreds of people working for you.
I think you can share it, right?
So I'm sure the audience is curious to hear just a few tips from you. But let's do a short summary about AI. What excites you most about AI? Yeah.
Okay. I think that the fact that you can change completely the journey and the experience of the customer in domains where it's really hard to understand what the business wants from you as a customer. So this is what excites me.
For me, dealing with AI took me a while to figure out, because I come from both the like trading and investing space, and I have a master's in computer sciences, so I understood what it's supposed to do, but I couldn't handle the fact where my programmers, and when you start dealing with machine learning, they told me they can't explain to me the logic of the results, because those are the results. You ask a machine a question, it gives you an output, but if I can't understand the logic, I couldn't actually do anything with it. So think about a very simple question to ask a machine learning is, which stock to invest in right now? And then it says, Google. And then you ask why, and you can't understand.
You can't really have a conversation.
Understand the why,
yeah.
And it's very hard for someone coming from a profession like of investing or insurance not to be able to explain the why. Now I hope, and that's machines who need to explain to us why they made the decision. I really hope we'll have more people working on that so we understand them, because it's really hard. But that's also the magic of working with AI, is sort of a bit letting go and understanding that you can't understand the why answer, which is very hard. The more you know, it's harder to give up the question why.
So it's a black box right now, and whoever is able to unlock it.
If we're not necessarily are going to be able to unlock it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think that in a way, AI, eventually we're doing insurance. Insurance is statistics, AI is statistics, machine learning is statistics. Eventually, it all goes down to fields that have been invented many, many years ago. It's not a new field, right? So we're kind of twisting it and making it work differently, and we're now looking at statistics in a way that, in prediction, with things that used to be here for a while. A lot of the algorithms that we're all using are algorithms that have been invented in the late 50s. So I think that the way that we're going to look at it from, in the next few years is exactly your point, is understanding. It's like, if I give you a task and you come to me with results, I'm going to ask you how you got there, you're going to ask the same, you're going to be able to ask the same question a machine, and it's going to be able to make the way that it got to that result in a more transparent way. The second thing is, I think that we're going to see much more experience going into AI, because AI now is a very technical field. But I think that coming from what we're doing, so one of the things that we're very excited about is working a lot on the human interaction experience around the conversational UI. So just to give an example, so hiring a novelist or a writer to create a person, a virtual person around that bot, and have just like you create a script for a movie, there's a virtual person that you can think about their feelings and how would they react and how would they respond and what type of language do they use and tone of voice and all those things. I think there's more opportunities around there. And just to give one funny story, we had a lot of the interaction with Lemonade is obviously by a bot. Every policy that we sold so far was through a bot. There's no other way. And at some point, people might come back to us and file a ticket and ask for support to come to our customer experience team and talk to a live person to ask like a generic question. And we now have a very interesting project around NLP that kind of tries to intercept those messages and figure out if we understand with high probability the intent that that person had and what we can do for them, and if we can help them, then we do, and we just let them do what they needed without even going and hitting our customer care team, which goes to scale, and there's like tons of things we can say about scale and AI. And one of the feedback that we got on Twitter was, oh, I finally got to a human and they solved my case so quickly. And it was the AI actually working on the other side. So I think that kind of product work and tone of voice around AI is going to be very important in the next few years.
Cool.
We had one of our customers fall in love with one of our bots.
Great. Okay, we have 30 more seconds. What are you hiring? What are you looking for now? In the AI world. So maybe people here should apply to your companies, whether it's a senior level role or more junior.
We are looking for solutions to shorten processes such as claims, underwriting, and also in the area of conversational UI.
Okay, cool. eToro?
We're always recruiting like crazy talented people, so if you're BI, AI, something we might hire you.
Yeah, what he said.
Okay, cool. Amazing. All right, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Wow. You know, if you look at some of the hottest companies today, they all have one thing in common. They're taking something that was once not sexy and making it sexy, right? We got eToro doing that in the finance world. They got Lemonade doing that. I mean, what a panel that was. That was unbelievable. All right, next speaker.